As you design your presentation, what is one gem from your vast repertoire of experience that you know you want to share that fits with the theme of a gathering for and by people who journey to the space between conflicting parties?
The the gem is uh, in understanding how much of the position we take comes from an emotional place rather than an intellectual one. That's my learning from Jeff over the last 2 years as we worked together and wrote together, is to understand how much of our actions and reactions are triggered by things like trauma and things like victimhood and fear and
Sure. So the gem I'll use is a line that we use in our book, which is we need to make the shift from who is right to what is right.
Yeah.
Um, so, so I'm something that's very much on my mind in a lot of talks we do, but certainly with mediators, is the issue of power. And that it's very easy to get sort of lulled into idea that mediation means two equal parties trying to work out a problem. And that's not always the case. It's probably rarely the case. And certainly in our milieu, we need to focus on justice because the one side has had the ability to push their rightness in a way the other side has not. So there's this imbalance because we're focusing on who is right, not what is right.
What you most want to learn from presenting to an audience of mediators, facilitators, and peacemakers of diverse backgrounds and perspectives?
The key, most specific thing I'm looking forward to gaining is how you keep something going when your emotions, the party's emotions, shut things down. How do you, this is what we're always doing, is how do we move away from our emotional brain, our fast brain, to our slow, logical prefrontal cortex brain? And I'm very interested in how you all do that in your work.
And Raja, what do you want to most learn from presenting to the audience?
The Israel-Palestine, Jews and Palestinians context provides us with two parties that both see themselves as victims. We have Jews who are, a product of centuries of European anti-Semitism, having been victims of, the greatest genocide of all time, the Holocaust, and have internalized that victimhood into their struggle with Palestinians, and misplaced their victimhood, historic victimhood, into seeing themselves as victims of Palestinians, when the Palestinians have been victims of Zionism, of the creation of Israel at their expense, and the complete dispossession of Palestinians and the destruction of their society in 1947-48 that makes them, in their own eyes, the greatest victim. So I will be interested in learning from the participants. How do they deal with situations when you have two parties that see themselves each as victims? And the problem, of course, when you see yourself as victim is it's very hard for you to see yourself as a victimizer.
So the fourth question is, what is one question you are hoping a participant will ask you in the Q&A session? And I'm just going to let any one of you who feels like you can just take that.
Well, the one question I want them to ask is, why does trauma trump logic? at almost every turn.
How is it that we here in North America and in the West in general are very familiar with one story, that of the Jewish story? We are all familiar with the Holocaust, with the history of anti-Semitism, but we're not too familiar or familiar at all with the Palestinian story. And the Nakba meaning catastrophe in Arabic. That's how Palestinians refer to 1948.